Hello, my name is Olivia Conley, and I'm a special education resource teacher at Underwood Elementary School in Florence, Alabama. In this video, I will be presenting my research project on the effects of attendance incentive programs on ACAP reading and math scores. I will say that I have not completed the research yet, therefore all of these outcomes are projected. So some background information. One of the main issues I see as a teacher is chronic absenteeism. Since I began teaching in 2020, I have seen students fall behind because they are missing school, not because they're physically ill, but for other illegitimate reasons. I tell people all the time that I cannot teach their child if they do not come to school. It is a problem at Underwood and many schools throughout the United States. According to my sources, about 15% of K through 12 students miss more than a month of school annually. This can have a serious impact on their academic achievement. High rates of absenteeism have been linked to lower reading and math scores and worse long-term educational outcomes, especially for students from low-income families. I have witnessed this firsthand at Underwood. The students with the highest number of absences also have some of the lowest ACAP scores. This is especially concerning given that the low-income students are among the most likely to be absent from school, and more than half of the students at Underwood are low income. I put together this study with the intention of helping our school address this issue. These are my pre-project data, which comes from the Alabama State Department of Education. These data are Underwood specifically. As you can see, there is a negative correlation between chronic absenteeism and student achievement, which aligns with what I found in literature. High absences means lower achievement. Attendance incentive programs are a best practice that I saw again and again in literature. Essentially, teachers provide tangible rewards for consistent attendance. This can include having students color in squares or stick stickers on a classroom attendance chart. In this study, I want to see if a program like this could help improve attendance and achievement at Underwood. Is this something that could actually make a difference at our school? Is it going to get kids into the classroom more consistently? Here's my action plan. I'm going to collaborate with our second and third grade classroom teachers to test out an attendance incentive program. I am the special education teacher for pre-K through third, so I do have a rapport with these teachers. Several of their students come to me for resource services. The classroom teachers will implement the incentive program. I will be responsible for collecting, compiling, and analyzing the data. This is going to require a lot of coordination between me, the classroom teachers, and the administrators. This will be a 9-week study, so they all need to be informed and on board. If one or more teachers do not implement the program consistently, it could affect the study's internal validity. To measure student achievement, I will be using the ACAP summative assessment for reading and math, which all students are required to take beginning in second grade. When I designed this study, I decided quickly that it would not be practical for classroom teachers to use this incentive program with some students and not with others. So we will be doing this with multiple classrooms, with each classroom acting as either an experimental or control group. We do not group students by ability at Underwood. Kids are assigned a classroom at the beginning of the year in a process that is largely random, so each child has a roughly equal chance of being in an experimental group. This will help ensure the study's internal validity. You can see here the sampling that I intend to use. 2 of the second grade classrooms will be experimental. They will be using the incentive program. The third will be our control. It will be the exact same for the 3 third grade classrooms. This will allow me to compare ACAP scores before and after the study. I can also compare scores improvement between the experimental and the control groups at each grade level. Here you can see a rough timeline of the study. I will be checking in with classroom teachers periodically to make sure the incentive program is being used consistently. I will also need to ensure that our control teachers do not use any kind of attendance incentive, as that could also affect the internal validity. At the end of the 9 weeks, all the students will take the ACAP, and I will collect, compile, and analyze their attendance data and their ACAP scores once they come in. Now I'll go over some ethical considerations. There is virtually no risk to the students who participate. Worst case scenario, their reading and math scores do not improve. We're only using positive reinforcement. This is literally just collecting stickers or coloring squares in an attendance chart. I will be getting consent from the parents. If a parent chooses for their child not to participate, we will not use that student's data. The classroom teachers will be collecting the attendance data, which is something they do daily anyways. The school will administer the ACAP, and again, that is something that the school would do anyways. The only person who will be correlating the attendance data and the ACAP data is me. Once I correlate it, and I will remove any students whose parents did not give consent, and then I will anonymize the data. No individual student will be listed, mentioned, or discussed in the published study. I will include group data only. My study does have some limitations. Ultimately, the classroom teachers will be the ones implementing the attendance incentive programs, and some of them may do it more consistently than others. If a teacher must take an extended leave of absence, that could affect student achievement. The substitute teacher may have a different level of experience or a different teaching style, which could skew the data. We could also experience a weather event or some other type of extended school closure like we did years ago during COVID. That would definitely skew the data. Currently, I do not see many potential issues with special populations. All of our current second and third grade students can color in a square or stick a sticker on an attendance chart. However, if we have a student that struggles with fine motor skills, they may need accommodations. A teacher or aide will provide assistance. One good thing to note is that this is actually a good way for students to practice their fine motor skills. Here are some notes on external validity. We are only studying second and third grade students, so these results may not generalize to older students. Also, Underwood has a relatively uniform population, mostly Caucasian, lots of low-income kids, and majority of our students are car riders as opposed to bus riders. All of that is going to limit the external validity. Whatever results we get, they may not carry over to other student populations. Speaking of results, these are the 4 potential outcomes that I see. Number 1, neither attendance nor ACAP scores improve. This would suggest that the incentive program was not effective and that more steps need to be taken to get children to school consistently. Number 2, attendance improves but not ACAP scores. This would suggest that the intervention was effective for improving attendance, but different steps need to be taken to address reading and math achievement. This would also refute some of the existing research. Number 3, ACAP scores improve but not attendance. This would suggest that the intervention was not effective for improving attendance. Some other factor may have led to improved ACAP scores, but we would not know what. And number 4, both attendance and ACAP scores improve. Depending on how much they improve, this may suggest that the intervention was effective, meaning that other second and third grade classrooms throughout the state could benefit from similar interventions. Lastly, some reflections on what I might need to improve before I could do this study. Looking back, I definitely need a more detailed action plan. I need to pin down exactly how and when the classroom teachers introduce the attendance chart and implement it. I also need to get more specific about what sort of data analysis I am going to do. Other than that, I feel like I covered everything, and that's about it. Hopefully, I get some useful results with this and it helps our kids miss less school. And here are my references. Thank you very much.